Hello once again, audience. Today will be a more controversial video than what I've done so far, where I'll be talking about religion. So, if you're a religious fanatic and you don't want to be offended, you might as well leave now. Alright, for everyone else, let's begin. I was watching a video by Mr. Repzion a few days ago about a really old show, like from the 50s or 60s, where he was responding to what people were claiming an atheist was. And, you know, how they're evil or something. And in the comments section is mainly what I'm responding to. How there were a few people saying that you can't be born an atheist, because you can't renounce something that you don't have any knowledge of. The problem with that kind of a comment is that atheism isn't renouncing the belief in a God. It is not having a belief in a God. So, therefore, everyone is in fact born an atheist because they do not have a God to believe in. Because they have no knowledge of any sort of religion or theocratic creed. So, and then there's people who make the argument, well, they could see their parents as gods or whatever, but, I mean, regardless, it's not the same God they're talking about. Because nobody's born with a religion, because no one's been told the things. Like, you can't be born a Christian because you have no idea what it means to be a Christian. Or do you have any sort of means to be any other religion? And another thing about religion is, people always say that their religion is the one true religion. And if you've been brought up into a religion, how can you say that your religion is any more true than someone else's, because you've never explored the possibilities? You really can't be a true religious person unless you've changed religions, or at least explored other religions. Because if your parents are Christians, and then you're Christians, or your parents are Muslim and you're Muslim, or Jewish, or whatever, any sort of pagan thing, and another thing is, I'm sick of when Christians are always like, if you're not a Christian, then, you know, you're satanic or some shit like that. Well, you're not satanic if you're an atheist, because you don't believe in Satan. We don't believe in any sort of a higher power, except for, nature and stuff, scientifically provable stuff. And I mean, I'm an extremely open-minded person. I mean, I'm open-minded about ghosts and cryptids and things of the like, but the existence of a God is hard to believe for me. I used to be a Christian. I was brought up into it by my parents, but then as I explored it, I became a pagan for a while, because at least that would give some sort of an excuse why, God, goddess, gods, whatever up there is not doing anything. Like, an example of something I've seen on Facebook is God willing to prevent evil but not able? Then he's not omnipotent. If he is able but not willing, he's malevolent. If he's neither able nor willing, then why call him a god? And, I see all sorts of things in the world. People, pray in America for all sorts of things, like losing weight, getting that new job, all this stuff. And, there are children starving in Africa, and are you going to tell me God's letting them starve, letting them die a cruel, harsh death, and it's just because they didn't pray hard enough. Or, for example, the fact that prayer doesn't work statistically. The amount of prayers that, supposedly worked were, within the statistical possibility of people surviving. Or, some traumatic disease or cancer or whatever. They fit within the probability of them surviving anyway. And, if you've read the Bible, it says that if any two people on this earth agree on something, or any three people, any three people, and, wish it and it will be yours, things like that. All these things are said in the Bible, and yet there's these prayer groups, all these groups of people praying, and yet it doesn't do anything most of the time. So what I'm saying is, if prayer doesn't work, there's little to no evidence for a God. And why believe it? If there was proof to be a God, I would believe it. But it's not like, Christianity is provably false. The Muslim faith is provably false because of the things like saying the world is flat, or there was this happened then, or this happened then. Of course any story is going to have some basis in truth, but the likelihood of some God created everything, and plus, the God of the Bible and Islam, the Quran, and all that crap is kind of a brat. He's kind of a, high and mighty brat type of thing. Where, do what I say or I punish you or I kill you or this and this and this. And if there were a hell, which obviously, if there is a God, there would be no hell if he's all loving, because, that just doesn't work. If he's all forgiving and all loving, then there's no need to punish somebody. So, there's that problem. And isn't God kind of an adulterer if the Bible were true? Because he slept with a married man's wife who didn't even get to have sex with her yet, and fathered a child to a different married couple. So didn't he kind of commit adultery right there? So, and Islam, the supposed religion of peace, and it talks about killing people and all that stuff. It's not very peaceful to just go around killing everybody who disagrees with you. And if the Bible were true, and if I say that, I mean that it's, one side of the story's take on everything. And if that were the case, Satan could just be misunderstood. He could have just been a rebel who stood up to an oppressive leader. If that were the case, then even being satanic isn't a bad thing. Because you're just standing up to the guy who tried to stand up to an oppressive leader. I don't believe in God, Satan, heaven, hell. The possibility of ghosts is, roughly possible because of the conservation of energy. There's all sorts of scientific explanations, and I feel like religion is the thing that people have when they don't understand how science works. Like they'll say evolution is just a theory. Well, gravity is just a theory. You don't see people jumping out of windows unless they're trying to kill themselves. Which a lot of people die in the name of their religion, and I would never die in the name of religion or atheism, which atheism is not a religion, and I hate people who do that shit, try to compare it as the same thing. People die in the name of their religion, and if they do that, you could easily be wrong. There's tens of thousands of possible gods that could exist, or there could be no God. So what's the point of dying in a belief you have no reason to believe in, except for the fact that you want to believe it? So that's my take on this. Do you have any comments, questions, concerns, replies? If you're pissed off, go ahead, comment me, whatever. But that's my opinion on such. Thank you for watching. One Naruto Master, also known as Mark Williams.